Now, British Columbia is also seeing a dramatic jump in cases. 941 new cases yesterday, many of them from the suburbs of Vancouver. Michael Serapio is here with the BC story. The new record numbers, Michael, and the new restrictions they are bringing.
That's right. The state of emergency now extended for another 2 weeks, Heather, in British Columbia as a result of these latest numbers and the trend line here. Take a look at what was announced yesterday in Victoria. As you say, new case counts 941, and that brings the total number of active cases in British Columbia to 7,732. Also, sadly, another 10 lives were lost in the 24-hour period that was covered by this announcement, and 72% of new cases, or 678 of the 941 announced, well, they are occurring in the Fraser Health region, a local authority that, as you say, also includes many parts of the Greater Vancouver area. As a result, people are being told to limit, if not stop altogether, their social interactions for the time being, meaning no gatherings with anyone outside a person's immediate household, though a physically distanced walk with a friend is still allowed, and people who live alone will be allowed to create exclusive bubbles with one or two other people. But that said, very small gatherings, only your immediate household, and all indoor and outdoor events, regardless of size, they have now been suspended. And also, as we know, there's now a mandatory mask order in British Columbia, and yesterday they announced a $230 penalty if anyone refuses to wear a mask, does not leave a space when asked, or becomes belligerent or abusive when approached about failing to wear a mask, Heather.
So that last point, Michael, let's consider that a bit, because British Columbia has been reporting very aggressive behavior from people who are anti-mask, who refuse to wear a mask. What has been happening in Nelson?
Well, famously now, there is a store in Nelson. It's the Kootenay Co-op, a grocery store, nonprofit grocery store, and they have been having a lot of problems. In fact, so much so that they have hired a security guard not to protect the products in the store, but to protect staff from aggressive customers who are not wearing masks and then yell at store employees if they're approached about that or reminded about the mandatory order, people who are essentially against the mask regulation issued by Victoria. And to what the staff are facing in the store, take a listen to the assistant manager.
There was lots of incidents of staff getting yelled at, and not just like a one-off moment of aggression, but there was at least one case that was more than 20 minutes of constant yelling at different people. I saw plenty of staff coming upstairs just to get away from the floor and the chaos, who were like visibly emotionally shooken up.
And so shooken up, some staff employees have already quit their jobs, Heather. And a reminder, they are actually putting their lives on line by doing the essential work of keeping grocery stores open. But they are being yelled at, and that is a problem with the masks, at least in this one store. Also seeing incidents like this in other parts of British Columbia. Now, the store says the vast majority of customers are great, but 10 to 20% of people do essentially do not believe in COVID-19 is a real risk, or they don't believe the mask regulations. And it does underline the challenge in the province. The province and any jurisdiction in this country can pass whatever regulations they want, but unless there is public buy-in, well, then the numbers are still being threatened of going upwards, which is why people are talking about these incidents in British Columbia.